Um, I want to get into another part of your life because you brought it up again. I look at Facebook apparently way too much, or we communicate on Facebook too much.
It's a
You
good
talk about,
platform to communicate.
I guess it is, fantasy football. You've grown an ego when it comes to fantasy football, and
Life.
I like it. I like the ego because I have one as well. I think that a lot of us have one. Um, what is it about fantasy football? I know what it is for me. What is it about fantasy football that just you connect with? It just kind of you know what I'm talking about here.
I am a huge competitor. I
Hmm.
like to be great at things, not just good. It makes it a lot more fun when money's involved because money's involved. Even if it's
Sure.
20 bucks or 500 bucks or whatever some people pay out there, I don't know. But um,
Yeah, there's no reason to
I,
pay that much. We're not going to encourage gambling right
yeah,
now, supreme gambling, but fantasy football is a good way to gamble. Who's your team? Because what I've noticed in fantasy football is you no longer have a team. You have a team, but you lose
fantasy
the
football will
passion.
ruin your passion for your own
Yes,
team
it is so
because
true.
even if you love a team, it, if you play favorites, you will lose.
And I
Period.
do it every year because I will not play my players against my team um, because I feel disloyal to my team. And that can be a tricky situation
And who's your
when you've got your
team?
star running back or something going against your team. And so you decide I need to sit him. It's not always a great call.
And what team would you be going for?
I am a Pittsburgh Steeler, sir. For quite a while now. Once Marino retired, I tried to stick with them, and I just didn't have the passion anymore. My stepdad was a Steelers fan, so I hopped on that back in the '90s, and I've been here ever since. But you're
Oh,
right.
so we're so
If
we're
if
so
you
we're
ask
rivals
me,
then.
as once again, um, the thing is like you said, if you ask me during football season who my favorite team is, it's whoever my players are playing for that week. That would be my favorite team.
Who's in the actual lineup? I agree.
That's right.
And I will wake up
So,
early and panic over my lineup. Yes.
who are your top three picks when the draft comes around this year?
McCaffrey. That's a
Hmm.
given. I'm actually in a two keeper league, so I'm keeping McCaffrey and Derrick Henry.
Good
Um,
picks. Yeah, good hold.
but I mean, probably I like running backs. The only reason why is if you don't get running backs early, no matter how big your league really is, it's
Hmm.
going to hurt you.
Well,
Um,
and that is the problem, and you have to get the guy who's going to perform like McCaffrey. Well, not even McCaffrey so much last year as Henry.
we'll get
Um,
into that not performing thing on because I have a story for that. But go ahead.
okay. No, I want to hear it, but I do want to know who your third pick is. You going quarterback? You going receiver?
I would feel like someone like Devontae Adams, who is almost guaranteed a touchdown almost every game, if not every game. Only because he's going to get fed. He runs the routes really well, and he's got a Hall of Fame quarterback sitting there. Um, he won't be
Who's
available to me, but
no? Who is the draftable rookie this year?
ooh, it depends on which teams they go to.
Yeah, indeed. It's a little early to
Uh,
tell. I can agree
but
with
if
you on
I
that.
mean, I have liked Trevor Lawrence since I saw him week one as a freshman. He was focused. He had no fear in his eyes. And if they get some players around him, I would try to pick up someone from him. Um, I'm wondering where Justin Fields will go. And was that Trey Lance from who's not really talked about much, but he threw a pick in the last game he played, and that was his only pick of his college career.
He's your sleeper pick.
He's my sleeper pick. He's going to be available after round 10, no matter what size your league. Just stuff like that you really have to watch. If you don't do your homework, there's once in a while people get lucky. But if you don't do your homework, enjoy the middle of the pack. But
my wife won our Yahoo League last year off an auto draft. And yeah,
actually had the 2 years ago somebody won off of auto draft, so I'm thinking about it.
But she did her homework the rest of the season. She worked the waiver wire better than I would have. I stopped giving her advice because she was doing better than me anyway. So
taking your players,
I just let her roll it, and she won it. I wish she had. So your lack of performance picks. Go ahead.
Ooh.
You said you had a story. That's what I'm alluding to here. You said you had a story with players not performing. Which we all do. If you play fantasy football and you've had a player that you thought was going to be your go-to guy, and then he pulls a McCaffrey and gets hurt, or just has the worst season that he's ever had in his life simply because you drafted him, go ahead and hit the like button. If it's happened more than once, hit the subscribe.
McCaffrey. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, classic, good one.
Prescott, Joe Burrow. All part of my team last year.
Oh, so you had the injury squad. I had the same thing. I had $100 league. The same thing. All of my top guys got hurt.
I had Odell Beckham also injured. There's 5.
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, well, I got Odell in like the 5th round, so I'll take it. But I had.
Wishing you'd taken Landry now.
Yeah. And you know what? That was there. It was there. I knew that Landry played the slot, and I could have taken so many other players. But I was like, really? You guys are like leaving me this? And yeah, sure enough, that's what happened. I had 5 players go out injured. Not just like 5 players, 5 elite players. Yep. And then I picked up Joe Burrow, played him a couple weeks, and he was out.
And then he got hurt. Yep.
Because I was trying to fill the void with Dak being gone.
The fantasy football goddess is a cruel, cruel mistress.
Yeah, she took me for a ride. I worked so hard to replace all the injuries, overpaying for players, waiver wire night and day, chasing it. Losing to players. I don't even remember who was, but every time I play someone, one of their players has a career day against my team. It happens probably the last 4 straight years. I'm kind of getting sick of that. I'm over that. Like and I had Derrick Henry, so I'm like, finally, someone who's going to give me a career day once or twice a year and really wreck somebody. And the week Derrick Henry started going off, I had players drop. And I'm like, you've got to be like, Derrick Henry was half of my team when he scored like 50 points. And I was like, oh, well,
my wife had him too.
Yeah,
And she went, yeah.
So, but I actually ended up getting 2nd place because the guy who placed last and second to last the last 2 years, he ended up beating me because he scored over 200 points for the first time in 3 years on championship weekend.
Because he was playing you, and he wasn't missing half his roster.
Yeah, he had a couple of Bills players. I don't know if you've heard of them, but yeah,
quarterback, wide receiver. Up where Josh something or other, yeah.
Diggs, Josh Diggs, I think is his name.
Yeah, something like that.
Thanks for watching. What'd you think? Use that comment section and let us know. Don't forget about the weekly podcast. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. If you ever want to be on the show, it's Y-TiSTiCS@gmail.com. Y-TiSTiCS, where your story gets heard. I mean, hey, why not?